Ever wondered why Noah had a zoo on a boat? Picture this. One day, Noah, just your average guy, hears from God. The big man upstairs tells him about an impending deluge that's going to wash away all life on Earth. Talk about a conversation starter. God then drops another bombshell. Noah is to build an ark, a massive wooden ship, mind you. And let's not forget, Noah wasn't exactly a seasoned shipwright, he was more of a tent and sandal kind of guy. But hey, when God gives you lemons, you make an ark, right? Oh, and it gets better. God also told Noah to fill this ark with animals, 2 of every kind. That's right, folks. Noah just became the world's first zookeeper. Can you imagine the look on his face? And so, with a bewildered shrug and a hammer in hand, Noah sets to work. Building an ark is not exactly a weekend DIY project, is it? Imagine Noah, a man of faith, tasked with this monumental task. And it wasn't just any boat, but a gigantic ark, destined to house an array of creatures. Picture him, blueprint in hand, scratching his head, wondering how to fit elephants and ants under the same roof. Now let's not forget about the family. There's no doubt they had their share of laughter, watching Noah measure, saw, and hammer away. The children probably had a field day dodging flying wood chips and teasing their father about his newfound carpentry skills. And his wife, well, she probably just shook her head and chuckled, knowing full well that her husband was not a boat builder by trade. But through all the bumbling, the mishaps, and the countless splinters, Noah's faith never wavered. His determination was as strong as the gopher wood he used. With sweat on his brow and splinters in his fingers, Noah finally puts the finishing touches on his floating zoo. You've heard of herding cats, but what about giraffes, elephants, and every critter in between? Imagine the scene as Noah and his family round up 2 of every animal. The baboons are likely bamboozling around, while the kangaroos are probably getting a head start with their jump. Picture the elephants, their trunks entwined, plodding along with a sense of ancient wisdom. Now let's not forget about the smaller inhabitants. Perhaps the ants marched in 2 by 2, and the bees buzzed in, creating a soundtrack to this grand gathering. Can you imagine the surprise of the owls, roused from their daytime slumber, blinking in surprise at their new crowded digs? And then, there are those animals with a bit of an attitude. The porcupines probably bristled at being herded, and the skunks, well, let's just say the ark probably wasn't smelling like a bed of roses. With one last squawk, hiss, and growl, the ark's doors close, ready for the journey ahead. Now, who's up for a 40-day cruise on the world's first zoo boat? Imagine this: Noah, his family, and a pair of every animal kind, cruising in the ark while the rest of the world is in watery chaos. It's a scene right out of a fairy tale, but without the fairy. Now life inside that ark must have been quite an adventure. The daily feeding of the animals, the cleaning, the noise, and don't even get me started on the smell. It's like a never-ending zoo visit, but you're the zookeeper and there's no exit. Talk about serious cabin fever. Yet, despite all these, Noah and his family persevered. They took care of their floating zoo, and in turn, the animals provided them companionship and a sense of purpose in the midst of a global catastrophe. As the floodwaters recede and dry land appears, Noah and his floating zoo disembark, ready to start anew. But what's the story without a rainbow at the end, right? As the floodwaters receded, God made a pact with Noah. The rainbow, a vibrant arch in the sky, was its beautiful symbol, a promise that Earth would never again be destroyed by a flood. This tale of Noah's Ark teaches us about faith, obedience, and the grace of second chances. So next time you see a rainbow, remember Noah's Ark, a tale of faith, a zoo on a boat, and the world's most unusual cruise.